44 past the hour, the ACLU and other civil liberties groups say they plan to sue Louisiana over the state's controversial new Ten Commandments law. Now, it requires the Ten Commandments be displayed in every public school classroom. The religious text will be poster-sized with large readable font in classrooms from kindergarten to state-funded universities. Joining us now is NBC's Marisa Parra and former Broward County Assistant State Attorney Maria Schneider. So, Marisa, this is raising some questions about the separation of church and state. So what is happening and what comes next?
Right. Well, what comes next is most likely those lawsuits we talked about. And I actually just spoke with the ACLU, and they said that they intend to file sometime next week. So, of course, we'll keep a close eye on that. But that is something that everyone who is a supporter of this, including the governor, has said that they knew would be coming. And in fact, he welcomed. He just signed this yesterday, Jose. But it was just this past weekend that he said he looks forward to being sued. And so what we're hearing, of course, is two sides of discourse. The supporters saying that this isn't a religious effort, that this is meant to be a display of moral code of conduct, if you will. The Attorney General of Louisiana pointed to the fact that Moses is depicted within the halls of the Supreme Court 8 different times, saying that she looks forward to, quote, defending the law. But we have critics saying, well, wait a second, what about separation of church and state? And so you have groups like the ACLU who are vowing to sue. And I want to point to a National Education Association. The president put out a statement in part saying that this is religious coercion. They're afraid that this will make students feel like they are being coerced into one specific type of religion. You mentioned again that this will and is supposed to be displayed in all publicly funded classrooms from kindergarten all the way through university schools, Jose. So in terms of timeline, in terms of what happens next, of course, those lawsuits are expected to be filed sometime next week. But according to the legislation that was just signed by the governor, the deadline for this to be displayed in those classrooms is 2025, Jose.
And so, Maria, this challenge is in Louisiana argues that the Ten Commandments are not just religious, but they're also, they have a historical aspect to it. How do you see these lawsuits playing out? I mean, what would these lawsuits, you think, be based on?
Well, the lawsuits are definitely going to be based on the separation of church and state, the Establishment Clause. But I see that one of the reasons why the governor is so willing to enter into this fight is because he's counting on the Supreme Court, which has, you know, historically, the recent Supreme Court been a lot more supportive of lowering the bar between the separation of church and state. They've made a lot of rulings. There have been a lot of rulings. I think I read something that says 85% of religious cases that have come before the current Supreme Court have ended up on the side of the challenger. So that's a pretty significant, you know, increase from what it had been in the past, which was in the 30s. I think the 40 percentile was the highest that you'd ever seen these types of decisions go on the side of the people who wanted to you know, kind of blur that line between church and state.
And so, talk to me about that 1980 U.S. Supreme Court ruling of that Kentucky law.
Well, you know, there have been a couple of rulings. It hasn't just been one. I mean, going back all the way to what they call the Lemon Law from 1947 and a series of other decisions afterwards that have kind of lessened. They have allowed, you know, they allowed, you know, in God we trust is all over the place in, you know, our money and our, you know, oaths and all kinds of things. So there has been a separation, but that has been blurred over time. I think that what we're going to end up seeing is challenges based on whether this is really truly a historical movement. They're trying to expose children to something that has existed historically, or this is really a push on religion. I mean, if we're really going to go historical, what about the Code of Hammurabi? That predates, you know, the Ten Commandments. Obviously, it includes a lot of ridiculous things. You know, I mean, Hammurabi basically killed everybody for every reason. But it also encompasses some of the basics that are contained within the Ten Commandments. I don't have a problem with the idea that thou shalt not kill. That's in our laws. We can teach that. There is no prohibition. It's when you put that context of Moses said it and, you know, you shall have no God before me and those things that we get into that area where it really starts to blur the line between church and state.
And Marisa, this is something other states are clearly looking at.
Absolutely. And of course, we've talked about the precedent that was set in 1980 with the Supreme Court. And that is something that the ACLU and other groups are saying that this this new legislation just signed by the governor violates the precedent that was set. But the Supreme Court had a completely different makeup then. And so we know right now this is a conservative-leaning Supreme Court. So I think there's a lot of states that have pending legislation at different parts of, whether they've been signed or not. A lot of states looking to see what will happen with the state of Louisiana.
Marisa Parra and Maria Schreiner, thank you so very much for being with us.